Principle of certainty, intelligence, and logic. Since any event is constructed from various interdependent, complementary, and contributing elements and parameters, the better and greater the number of these elements we understand, the greater the likelihood of knowledge, certainty, or intelligent intuition we will have about the others and about the event as a whole. This occurs because the event is a set or final element constructed and supported by the sum and composition of its components and therefore must contain the sum of the properties and characteristics of all of them. And this is how the entire cosmic framework is built and operates, with the construction of sets of simpler elements that give rise to other, more complex elements and events, with the final results or events being and having a compendium of the properties and characteristics of all its components. And this can be seen in the simple mathematics of sets, such as the addition-subtraction of elements, for example. A plus B plus C equals 18, where in principle it is very difficult to know the unknowns A, B, C, but as we learn some of them, it gives us certainty and intelligent intuition about the others. And so, by knowing one unknown, 8 plus B plus C equals 18, we already glimpse more possibilities of knowing the set, and if we know two unknowns, 8 plus 4 plus C equals 18, the solution is given to us by a simple mathematical operation of intelligent logic, C equals 6. In other works, he defined intelligence as the capacity and ability to search for, find, and combine simple elements that are complementary in their properties, in order to create more complex elements that are better, more developed, and sophisticated, with improved properties and characteristics. But now we'll give a practical overview of this intelligence, or intelligent intuition. It could be intelligent intuition or simply intelligent logic, the ability to search for and find elements that complement those we have previously obtained, to complete the set or event we are constructing. An example of this could be the mathematical operation of searching for unknowns, explained above. But why do I call it intelligent intuition? Well, because I understand that this work is not only carried out by our conscious mind, but also at the subconscious level. That is, our subconscious is capable of computing or uniting elements with complementary properties on its own, without us consciously intervening. And I say this from experience, as many times I've had an unsolved problem in mind, and after sleeping peacefully, when I woke up the next day or several days later, the problem was solved in my mind without having consciously reviewed it. On Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Of course, I understand that Heisenberg's uncertainty principle is completely erroneous and an imposition, like most, of quantum mechanics. There are dozens of explanations on this subject, and all of them are pure dialectical manipulation that lead us to erroneous conclusions. That is, they seem like pure speculation and pure deception. For example, perhaps the oldest one is that of the photon that deflects a particle it impacts in order to make it visible and measure its properties and parameters. The premise is, you cannot measure two parameters of a particle exactly at the same time, because by measuring it, it changes its state, and afterwards we will no longer be able to measure its other parameters, which will have changed with our measurement. And as we can see, their conditions are contradictory, since first they tell us, at the same time, and then they tell us afterwards. But as we can see, all of a particle's parameters are measured and adjusted based on its position and time, x, t, and therefore all depend on and relate to this position. Mass is measured at x, t, velocity is measured with composition and variation of x, t, momentum is measured at x, t. Well, friends, that's it for this summary of the certainty principle and constructive intelligence.